What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Timezone Derby podcast. As you guys can see, there's no Adam today, so we're here with my boy Trevor. He's making his debut. How you going, man?
How's it, everybody? How's it, everybody? I'm all good, man.
Well, it was an interesting weekend of football, a very surprising one for me. I got a lot of my predictions wrong, uh, which I guess the first one we could talk about, since we have a Liverpool fan on with us, is we could talk about City's humiliation of Liverpool at the Etihad. I guess I'll ask Lopo first because you're the home side, the winning side. How did you feel about that game? What did you make of it?
Well, going into it, I was a little nervous. Liverpool came off two big wins. I mean, their performance against Madrid was incredible, and I actually thought we were going to come out with a 2-1 win, maybe a draw if Liverpool actually played to it, but I was wrong. I was Thank God I was wrong. Liverpool came out and in my opinion showed no grit. They showed no intensity. They showed no passion. I mean, they didn't want to win the game. I will say this. I think if that Van Dijk goal, which in my opinion should have standed, if they scored that, I think it would have
Understood.
been a completely it should, I think it would have changed the game. I think it genuinely would have meant Liverpool would have stayed in the game. But aside from that, they played terrible. City dominated them in every aspect. We played amazing. Doku, I mean, he was man of the match by halftime, right? He had an exceptional performance. That goal was just the perfect top off to that performance.
Yeah,
Look,
I was trying to figure out whether that was Doku or Hazard that was playing that game. I was genuinely trying to figure it out. I thought I didn't recognize who this player was, and I'm a fan of Doku. Like you guys both know that I predicted him to have a breakout season, which he's
yeah,
clearly having at the moment. And yeah, I thought he was by far man of the match in that game. If he didn't score, even with no GA, he was still absolutely excellent.
yeah, he was cooking Bradley, and I mean, there was even at one point when Gravenberch came to help, and my guy just got past two of them. And yeah, I mean, he the first action of the game that he had, he won a penalty. He could have squared it off to Holland to score, but whatever, he won a penalty. And then Holland, I mean, he went on to miss. He doesn't score pens.
Pretty
Holland doesn't
soft
score pens.
pen, pretty soft pen as well.
I mean, yeah, but there is contact and he doesn't touch the ball. That's what you need for a pen. And then Holland, he missed, but then he scored. And then Nico Gonzalez, I mean, it was a deflection goal. I thought Van Dijk could have done better though. I mean, it was very poor for him. He barely moved his foot trying to touch the ball. And then, I mean, as I said, the third goal for the Doku goal, and it was perfect. I thought 3-0 was very flattering. It could have been 4 or 5, but it's fine. I'm fine with it.
Saying it was, I don't know if it was flattering because
Well,
they should have scored. They really should have scored with that Van Dijk
well,
disallowed
yeah,
goal.
but at the end, I mean, dude, Nico Riley had like two chances to score. My guy just blew them. But it's all right. We'll take it. Trevor, what do you think of the game?
Um, so going into the game, coming off the Madrid win, that was a game I was really nervous about. And then we go to Madrid, and like you said, the performance was, even though the scoreline was only 1-0, the performance was very convincing.
Dude,
They
that's a
needed
flattering
Courtois
result.
several,
That is a flattering
yeah,
result. Not
they
not
Oh
needed
yeah.
Courtois
not your game.
several,
That's a game where you're
several
like
times that
it
game.
should have been like way more.
Yeah. So that did restore some confidence, but I didn't want to speak too early about it. So we go to the Etihad, and let me just get this out the way quickly. That Van Dijk goal absolutely should have stood. That was a like horrific decision. I think that penalty was soft as baby shit. I don't see how you can give that with this much contact. But aside from that, that performance was just flat out embarrassing. Embarrassing. Um, I've watched my midfield go toe to toe with athletic, physical midfields. I've watched us handle, not lock up, but go band for band with Arsenal, go band for band with Real Madrid, go band for band with Atletico, go band for band with Everton, Newcastle. I've watched us handle level midfields of those levels. So for us to be bullied around the park by Cherky and Bernardo Silva, it's just shocking. There's just no excuse for it. That Van Dijk goal was our first shot on target. We were not creating a damn thing in that first half. Mind you, this is an attacking City lineup playing attacking football. Lolpo's point about the lack of fight. We were out Liverpool. We were second to every ball. We were losing every duel. Everything Man City wanted, they got. If you wanted the ball, just push a player off, you'll get it, bro. I do want to say, by the way, Nico Gonzalez's goal, Van Dijk sticks out a lazy leg, which is poor from him, but it's not Van Dijk's fault. It's Ekitike's fault because Ekitike is the closest man to Nico Gonzalez. Ekitike is the one who should get out there and close him down, but he didn't. And that's just a symbol of the whole performance. That first goal, the Haaland goal, Konate gets dunked on,
Oh, he
Oh,
gets
which is
it's
bad.
cooked. He
terrible. It's
sells in.
terrible.
He
Which is
actually
bad.
sells in, bro.
Ekes was telling us for like 2 weeks ahead of the game, if Konate is not on it, he's gonna cost Liverpool a goal. And I mean, that's what happened. Konate, like, I don't even know what he was trying to do because it looked like he was trying to hit it up first, but then he tried to just get a touch on it. But dude, just fling it back, like, or to the side or anything. Just don't do that.
But I will admit, though, that even though Konate absolutely gets punked by Haaland, that cross should not be coming in the first place. I don't know why Mateus Nunes has all the time and space in the world to pick
And
up that pass.
and that header is insane. That is
No,
one
no,
of the
it's
best.
enough goal.
That is one of the best headers I've ever seen in my life, bro. Like how he hits it like that and puts the ball in that specific area of the net. That is an insane header.
And
Yeah.
mind you, he had to beat a man in the air to do
Yeah,
that. Now Haaland is,
it wasn't even like an open header or anything. It was
yeah.
this Haaland guy, bro.
So
He's
Dude,
not real,
he's
bro.
so for me, that was. Oh, by the way, I just want to mention, I had to run a baby agenda. Did you see Holland actively duck Van Dijk that game? Everything he wanted to do, he went to Konate's
Yeah,
side, by the
but
way. I just want to add that.
yeah.
when you've got like the best defender of all time on one side, and then you've got a guy that's been a bozo all season on the other side, like you're gonna go for the bozo. That's just what you're gonna do.
Bro, Konate's away performances, bro. I watched this guy get spun by Anthony Gordon playing false nine. But anyway, that performance overall was just shocking, bro. Because in terms of on the ball, listen, losing at the Etihad can happen. Like
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
the results itself. I've watched Klopp with
It's
all-time
only a
teams.
disaster considering like the position that you guys are in at the moment.
Yeah, and it's just the manner of the loss as
Yeah.
well. Like you guys mentioned Doku's performances. Outside of Doku, who was a standout player for Man City?
In my opinion, it was O'Reilly. That's it.
O'Reilly. But the thing is, even then, I'd say his job wasn't that hard because Salah, they had two men
Well,
on him. Salah had to beat Maradona to be effective that game. But no, O'Reilly was good. What I'm trying to say, in terms of standout, we got it beat 3-0 and City didn't come out of third gear.
Yeah, but yeah,
Like
like
it's
I was
not
actually I was trying to think the same thing. Like I thought Cherky was really bad.
oh, he
yeah, he was
well
I thought he was
look.
shit, yeah.
really bad. And
I
then
wouldn't say bad, but he just didn't. He didn't get to touch the ball. I
yeah, you
mean,
know,
he just never came in.
Nico Gonzalez was okay. Like I thought he had a decent game. But yeah, you're right. Like not many like that wasn't a vintage Haaland performance like I thought was needed
No.
to score 3 goals against Liverpool. But I thought that
No,
was
it was Doku. Yeah, it was
yeah,
Doku that stole the show.
It was and that's the concerning thing is that you
yeah.
don't need to play out of your skin to beat us 3-0. As a matter of fact, to throw a little stat at you, we actually held Haaland to his lowest non-penalty XG of the season. We kind of did the job, and that's what you
Hmm.
usually expect because against Liverpool, Haaland does struggle. He doesn't have a good record against Liverpool. It's just that it's just a stupid bozo moment from Konate and a cross that should have come in the first place. But aside from that, I think Haaland was quite quiet. I don't think it's the defense's fault. I know we conceded 3 goals, but I'm not really looking at the
Yeah.
defenders. All of our problems stem from our midfield structure, and I've been on about this from the beginning of the season. And this is the reason. What's that old saying? Games are won and lost where? In the midfield. So when your midfield is poor, it's going to make your attack look bad. It's going to make your defense look bad. Everything looks bad because of how bad we are in the middle of the park. When we had the ball, City didn't do anything special to keep us from creating. Our first shot on target was a Sol was like thundercunt in like 70 minutes. A defensively fragile City team kept us from not even scoring, from creating anything. And they didn't do anything special. They just outnumber us in the midfield. It's what Brentford did. It's what Man United did. It's what Palace did. It's what Newcastle did. It's what all these teams have been doing to us the whole season. When City had the ball, okay, they showed us levels, bro. I don't think I've seen our press dismantled like that across a 90. It was bad. Like it was bad. Like I think that's what Lawpo means in terms of the scoreline being flattering. I don't think you guys could have scored more, but in terms of you guys doing whatever you wanted, we couldn't stop you at all.
Yeah, yeah,
City got
Yeah.
definitely.
whatever they wanted.
Look, I,
So
I also
that
saw. Oh, go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead, bro.
Oh. Look, I saw a stat, or I guess I just saw like Man City posted it for that first goal. We had everyone involved before that the
Yeah,
goal went in, and I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
it was great.
I think I saw that as well.
Dude, and when I look back at it, it all started with y'all pressing us in our corner, and for a second there, we actually looked like old City. Foden dropped in deep, Doku dropped in deep, and we played out the back. We actually looked comfortable playing out the back, and I actually like that from Pep. I think he's done an excellent job transforming this team. And look, compared to last season, because last season we went to Anfield, it should have held 4, 5, maybe,
Mm.
right? So we've already switched a lot of results around, and I'm very happy the way the season's going so far. I'm not going to say anything long term because it's still early in the Prem, but I think it's great the way we're. I think this was a statement win that we needed to do, and we did it. It's what's important.
And now the thing is, in terms of your build up, Foden, he's been, I think, like a bit of a game changer, especially with some of the positions he's been taking, especially deep in the pitch. But the thing is, he's been doing this though. What Pep did, he didn't show anything new in that game. It was
Yeah,
just ultra effective because Slot didn't do his homework. In terms of the Doku thing, earlier that same week against Madrid, we robbed Vinny and Mbappe of space to run into. We went into a low block when it was necessary because that's what you have to do against players with that kind of explosiveness.
yeah,
And here, we left Connor Bradley on an island with acres of space behind him against Doku. What do you expect is going to happen? This is why, yes, like Doku had a good game against Bradley, but I don't think Bradley was that bad. He was just hung out to dry
yeah. No,
because
Yeah,
Bradley
yeah,
actually
no,
had a
no,
couple good
yeah,
moments. Like,
that wasn't like Bradley criticism. It
yeah,
really
no,
wasn't.
Bradley had a couple of moments where he did get the better of Doku. It was just Doku.
But it's when Doku
We
comes
would
at
get
you every
exactly.
like 5 odd minutes, it's like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, that's the issue. I think the issue was that y'all let the ball get to Doku very easily, time and time again. That's the biggest issue.
and that's a big issue. Slot's been going on about long balls this whole season. The reason we've been facing so many long balls is because our forward line hasn't been pressing. We don't have good presses on the forward line. That's why the ball keeps going again and again to the striker. But what's funny is, if I'm not mistaken, I fact checked this. I think City play the fewest long balls of anyone in the Premier League, or like they're towards the bottom. So you can't even run. City played the way Slot wants the team to play. Keep the ball on the floor, pass it around, but we couldn't get near them. There was one point where we were pressing City up high and the defense stayed back. So there was
That's like
just
Ten
this.
Hag level tactics. I remember he used to do that at United.
It's driving
No,
me
it
insane
is.
to watch
Literally,
every
No, I
week.
know, I
that is
know.
the
That's what
main
I'm saying.
thing I used to criticize Ten Hag for. That the gap between the attack and the defense is so big off the ball that he used to leave his midfield completely exposed. That is literally the
Bro, I
main
used to
criticism.
laugh at Ten Hag for that,
I
bro.
know that
Us,
was
us,
my
us
main
Liverpool fans,
criticism of him.
And we
bro,
we didn't.
we used to do this, bro. Don't hold in the midfield, bro.
Yeah,
This is what we used to laugh at him for. And now that's our tactics, bro. And especially when we don't have a destroyer midfielder. We have Gravenberch and McAllister who are very good, but you need to keep the team compact, otherwise they'll get exposed. McAllister has no pace, bro. Have you watched McAllister sprint? It looks like he's
yeah.
running in cement, dude. He can't run. So you're expecting this guy to cover these large amounts of space. What do you think is going to happen? This is why I think we've conceded 17 goals in 11 Premier League games. And I don't think any of the defense have been bad defensively. Even Kirk is. I think defensively he's been quite solid,
It's
especially
more
like
just
1v1
been
defending.
just over his overall like antics and he's a bit of a weirdo.
Oh, on the ball, he's terrified. He's terrified of the football, which is like very concerning to me. But hopefully, they can get ironed out. But
Yeah,
it just takes one pass. Do you remember the Crystal Palace game away
yeah.
at
I,
Selhurst
I
Park
did
when we
watch that
lost?
game. Yeah,
The 2-1?
Huh?
yeah. I did
Yes,
watch the
The
game.
2-1, yeah.
we conceded from two set pieces. So people look at that and be like, "Oh, set piece defending." It could have been 5-0 at
Yeah, I know.
halftime because of the amount of 1v1
The
pressure.
way Mateta was moving that game. Oh,
Bro, he looking like Drogba, bro. It was
yeah,
Konate again getting dunked on. Konate away from home is a shambles, but I'm saying the way Palace exploited our structure that game, it was so bad, bro. It was literally, bro. I remember one point they threw the ball over Salah's head. You broken our first line of pressure. It's that easy. Just pop it over his head, pass to Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton long ball, Mateta go chase, and they got in behind our line so many times doing that. And this is what the frustrating thing is. Can I just add, by the way, Haaland, do you understand what coaching can do? Haaland wasn't playing off the shoulder in the City Liverpool game. Haaland was dropping deep, creating, passing out. Bro, I thought City had Ekitike
yeah.
the way Haaland was playing the game, bro. He's showing so many facets
And
to
and
his game.
and Ekatike, so Haaland was playing like Ekatike, and Ekatike was playing like Haaland in a final.
That's a
Bro, this
violation,
guy, this
man.
guy.
Haaland wasn't that bad in the Champions League final. But
FA Cup
people
final.
people are gonna say people have been blaming Isak. When Isak starts, when Ekitike starts, they look the same. When Frimpong starts on the right wing, when Salah starts on the right wing, they look the same. When Vert starts on the left wing, when Gakpo starts on the left wing, they look the same.
It's just because you
When
expect
when
come to
Frim
expect different things from different players that the levels you interpret the
no,
levels as different.
no, well, what I'm trying to say is the players are not the problem, it's the instruction.
Yeah,
So look, obviously some players have been playing badly. I'm not trying to deny that. What I'm saying is even if they were playing well, it wouldn't make a difference. If we had Pedri in our team, it would not make a difference to how our midfield looks because Slot would either tell Pedri to get the ball and have no one in front of him, or he'd tell Pedri to play on the opposition's back line. I've seen McAllister hide in the striker at points. This is our pivot player. What's he? Why does he vacate the midfield in possession? I just cannot fathom it. I cannot understand it. And it just does not make sense. You spend the Premier League record fee on Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is not Kevin De Bruyne. He doesn't do.
I thought Florian Wirtz was probably your most impressive outfield player in that game. If I'm being honest, like
Yeah,
I
no,
actually
he
thought
was.
he had a good
Yeah.
game. I thought he played all right individually. It's just the team around him was so poorly structured.
There's no one there, bro. And you buy that kind of player who thrives in tight spaces, off giving goals, off 1-2. There's no one around him. What
Yeah.
do you expect is going to happen, bro? It's just so annoying that it's the same shit again and again and again and again. I have literally all you have to do against Liverpool is put five in midfield and work hard. You'll win the game. That's
Yeah.
how easy it is to play against us, bro. That's how easy it is. Even when that five in midfield is Cherky, Foden, Bernardo Silva. These are people that were. This is why City was getting ripped to shreds last year because the biggest advantage you have over City is physically. You can get at City physically. You don't even do that anymore. So I just don't know where this team is going. I don't know what we're trying to do. People say new signings have to click. Click into what? What tactics? This shit doesn't work.
It's
If
such
it,
a
I mean,
people just spam
yeah, yeah,
that.
bro.
People just spam that line even when it doesn't make any sense for like the context. It's like, oh, we need to give Eze time to adapt to the Premier League. You
Let
serious,
it
bro?
all work out.
Like, come on, man.
But
But
I just want to mention, I just want to ask a local question actually. What do you make of Nico O'Reilly? Because I think there is potential there. I think he's probably the best fullback at the club at the moment. Do you see him as your long-term left back? Do you see his future at fullback? Because he is a
look,
midfielder at the academy.
Isn't he
yeah,
like wasn't he like
whenever
a
he
10 for the
whenever
academy?
he came up, he used a 10. He played in the
That's mental.
Carabao, no, in the FA Cup versus Plymouth, and I don't know who the other team
Like
was when we won 8-0.
at least
He
Lewis
came
Skelly
in
was
at
a
the
DM.
10. He came in at the 10 and he balled out. He got a couple of assists and a couple of goals. But then there was this one game that Pep just he needed a left back and he just threw him in there and surprisingly it worked. That's Pep for you. And now I agree with you, Trevor. He's been our best left back, our best fullback since he made his debut on fullback. Like he's actually been great. He's so tall. He's physically there. He's young. He's 20 years old, so he's gonna run. He's smart. I mean, he's got the technique and the IQ of a midfielder, so he knows how to get out. He can play on like whenever he's being pressed. He's honestly he's elite. I love him at left back. He's single handedly made I Nori just eat bench because I Nori's been fit for like the last like 2.5 weeks. He has, but he hasn't been seeing any game time because of O'Reilly. I think O'Reilly he's gonna be if he keeps this up he's gonna go to the World Cup for England.
Oh, nah, bro.
If
I mean,
if
to be
he
fair,
keeps it up
England
if
Luke
he keeps
Shaw.
it up, I think he will.
I guess it will depend because England Luke Shaw is Lobos. But to be
No,
fair, I said in the summer, Aitnery is a meaty player. I said that signing
Yeah,
is
I said it
not.
as well,
It,
bro. I said it as well. I do not rate him at all.
bro, he is
well,
food defensively.
I've only seen like him play for 3 games. He was decent in two of them, and the other one he stunk it up. But I mean, we'll see. I'm happy with O'Reilly at the left. I think our look even Mateus Nunes has impressed me at right back. He's actually been
I,
solid, like
I think he's
unironically.
growing into the role. Yeah, he does. He doesn't look as out of place as he did last season. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Because last season he was just thrown in there, and I mean I don't know what Pep wanted, but I can see the vision now. Like I can definitely see the vision. And I do want to go back. I want to remember 1 second. When I was saying that last season we played y'all, dude, we had Mateus Nunes at left wing and Rico Lewis at right wing. That's what we were playing at Anfield away last season to determine
That's
like
actually
if we
that's
were.
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
It's a big improvement. So Pep, I'm sorry I didn't see the vision, but
And
we're here now.
I do just want to give a shout out to certain City players. Obviously, Doku. We've spoken about Doku already. We've spoken about Nico Rala already. I think Nico Gonzalez. Okay, the performance is getting gassed. I think a little bit. I think he was good, and I think Nico Gonzalez is a good player. He's a solid player. Long term, and now this is gonna sound mean. I don't see him as a title winning DM. I think he's like kind of a rotation guy, a squad guy. And this brings me to my next question about DM position. Rodri, since he came back from his ACL, he hasn't been Rodri. Do you
Yeah,
think he'll
no.
get back to those levels? And if not, do you think you need another midfielder, or are you happy with Nico Gonzalez?
Look, at the start of the season, most City fans didn't rate Nico Gonzalez. Like the signing didn't make sense because whenever he came in last season, he looked shaky, you know. And but this season, as you said, Rodri he hasn't been himself, and obviously he got injured for the last like 2 weeks. But Nico Gonzalez has stepped up very. His quality is compared to last season, how he was performing. He skyrocketed. He did. He took it up a bunch of levels, and in the past 3 games, in my opinion, he's looked just like Rodri did. So I guess we'll have to see if it's a purple patch. If he's just performing just, I mean, for the sake of it, or if he's actually that good. As it stands, he's earned the starting spot over Rodri, so Rodri will have to fight back in to get into it. But I think there is potential. I wouldn't be so sure of it, but I think there is potential for him to be that DM that we need. I think there is.
One thing I do want to say though
But
about Doku is I actually think that was really concerning for Liverpool specifically because I honestly think you guys got cooked by a profile that you're clearly missing at the moment. And I'm not going to be one of those guys that, I'm not gonna engage in all this revisionism looking at Diaz's stats in the Bundesliga and say, oh, you never should have sold Diaz when I'm not the biggest Diaz fan and he probably should have he wanted to go as well. That was the thing. Like he literally wanted to leave. So, but then at the same time it was a little bit concerning that you didn't even really look for like an adequate replacement because Gakpo. I think Gakpo's all right. Verts is an option there, but none of them really offer the same thing that a Diaz offered, like just pure 1v1. and someone who's got a bit of flair to their game out wide. I think that is definitely one thing that Liverpool are lacking right now that Doku definitely does embody.
Yeah.
I said this during the summer. The the sale of Diaz was because it looks like it was done without a plan. Diaz didn't necessarily want to leave. He wanted a bigger contract. And now Diaz is 28 years old.
Yeah,
So
but
we
still,
weren't gonna so
You don't pay Diaz a bigger contract, right? I don't
yeah.
think.
So for me, selling Diaz was not the but even when Diaz was here, especially that PSG tie really showed me the one thing we lack is pace in behind and like you said, direct 1v1ness. That's one thing we used to obviously in our prime team we had in abundance. Even Salah. The one thing Salah used to do, that ball over the top, it used to be such a cheat code because Salah could outpace any fullback in his athletic prime. But now, obviously, Salah's declined physically. Ekitike is like quite rapid, but he drops deep. So the position he takes up is not really playing off the shoulder to running behind, and Gakpo's not fast. And Diaz, by the way, lost his pace, a bit of his speed after that big injury from Partey. So even last season, I was saying our forward line lacks pace and directness. So when Diaz went, we were having links to Barcola for a little bit. We were linked to that Malik Fofana kid from Lyon, and
To
that was
Rodrigo as
exciting for
well.
me.
That you're linked to
Yeah,
Rodrigo at one point.
Rodrigo
Yeah.
is linked to everyone to be fair, but
Yeah.
but what was exciting about those links was that I thought the club spotted that as well. And then they come up with this report that said we're not gonna block Rio's pathway. Ooh, I'm like, okay, we've lost the plot now. First of all, Rio doesn't play. Secondly, Rio's 17. Rio, I've watched Rio. I think he's very talented, but he's not ready
He's
to be
15
a
now.
first team. Huh?
Is he not 15?
No, I think 60. I think he just
Nah,
turned 17 as well.
he's older than like Dowman and shit.
Yeah, and I think he's 17. So that
Oh
lack of a
shoot.
profile is so
Yeah, he just turned 17.
alarming that we didn't replace that because even that raw 1v1 place. And now Michael Elise, there's rumors that we're interested in Michael Elise, and I'm like, you can't add Elise to what do you want? What does Elise offer that we don't have? Because to me, I see Elise as something like he's like a left-footed verse because he can play that um 10 role, that creative role. We don't need Elise. I've been saying some of the winger options that I want. Obviously, you want the I know Barcola can't finish for shit. I would still take Barcola if he's available because I think he's like his pace is insane and he can skin any fullback. But some of the options I want is Minte from Brighton because his work rate is like alien in my opinion. He just doesn't stop running. There've been Semenyo links from Indy, but I'm I don't see it with Semenyo personally. I'll be honest. I think Semenyo
He's dropped off
he's a
as
right.
well.
Dude, he went through a purple patch.
He's dropped off as well.
Yeah,
His last 4 or 5 game weeks have been shocking.
even last season, I think he had the most shots in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. Or he was up there. He was close to Salah in terms of number of shots, but his number, I think he got like 9 goals, whereas Salah had 20 or 30 odd.
People always
I
do
think,
this. They always do this. There's a player that's on form and they just go way too overboard. Things with 100 million and like all the big clubs should sign him. It's like
There's been
chill
yeah,
out, chill
there's
out.
a lot
I think
of
Semenyo, I think he's Madueke level in my
Yeah,
opinion. And no disrespect, Madueke is not a bad player,
but
but I
he's not even a player that we expect to like start for us. He's just a rotational guy.
yeah. So I don't think Semenyo is the option. I do think we need a player who's fast, can take on his man. Because I think we have enough finishing in the forward line. Because I think obviously Alexander Isak,
look.
Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, you have finishing there. So I think you can get away with um, a Minter, a Barcola, who maybe his end product is not amazing.
I
A Doku,
think
ironically, Klopp was obsessed with Doku, by the way. But I think you can get away with that profile of player, and that is something we need to address. I don't think we'll do it in the summer. I don't think we'll do it in January, but in the summer, it needs.
So is that it that we want to do for the Liverpool game?
Yeah, there's not really anything else I would like to add. Um, I want to say one final stat that you told me, Ekis, is that since the PSG tie, Liverpool have lost 40% of all their games. which is ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
terrible. But we can move
Well,
on.
yeah, I guess we can move on to Arsenal. Trevor's got to go soon, but he can kind of talk about the Arsenal game a bit before he goes. Yeah, what did you make of our result against Sunderland?
I don't think it's a bad result. I just think games like that can happen. This is the Premier League. You're gonna go to even though it's a promoted team, they're gonna be games where you go to an away ground and they're gonna come for blood. They're gonna kick the shit out of you. It's gonna be a proper war bruising of a game. I think you know I think the way Arsenal approached that game, the way they approach games in general, it's something I just don't like to see. That level of it feels like you guys only really try to play football after you win a goal down. It feels like you're just trying to. I just don't like that level of passiveness, I guess. And I feel like, and I've said this in the past that style that Arsenal play leaves them open. I think to a lot of potential draws. Because if that goal that Sunderland score
We saw it
comes,
last season. We drew
yeah,
14 games last season. We lost as many games as Liverpool. Most of our losses were sort of at the end of the season when we weren't really playing for anything anymore. Like throughout, I think we only had 2 losses for the majority of the season. Like we didn't lose that many games last season. The reason we didn't even compete for the league was literally just the 14 draws that we had. So yeah, you're factually right.
and and that's the style because when you play when you play on margins like that, where games sort of need to be decided by a set piece, because I don't feel like you're adventurous enough with the attacking. This league has too much attacking quality. Arsenal are going to concede goals, obviously less than everybody else, but they are going to concede goals, and an ill-timed goal could really derail a whole game for Arsenal in a way that it wouldn't for a team with more firepower. So that's the concern I have. I think all the top teams are quite flawed because if you look at Man City, bro, if all Man City need is a Haaland grey patch and they're finished. They are
Yeah, they're
finished.
done.
Like they will not be able to score goals. They are absolutely finished.
Bro,
And all
these 2 stats literally still stand, I believe. They only have I think they've only had 2 games this season where Haaland has blanked, and they were both losses where the team didn't score. And then the other stat is I think Esteve is still their second top scorer in the Premier League.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think that is still true. Like I
It is.
genuinely
It is. No, it is.
it's still true. So yeah,
It's
you're definitely right about that.
so but what I will say about the Arsenal Sunderland game is if you look at what it took because I said Arsenal have the highest floor in the league, maybe in Europe, in terms of as a team because of how solid they are defensively. If you look at what it took for Sunderland to get that draw, like they had to get that draw out the mud, like they had
Yeah,
to fight tooth and nail, and even then at the end, it took a moment of individual brilliance. That's just a nuts goal, to be fair. Gabriel, I don't know what Gabriel's doing for there, but
I
that
don't
is
know.
the
I think people are glazing the goal. I honestly think people
nah. That's a
Nah, it's
that's
valid. It's valid.
it's
It's
just crap
valid.
defending. It's just
yeah.
crap defending,
It's
bro.
bad defending, but it's a good finish. It's an expansive finish. So
But
that's my thoughts on it. I think that game showed Arsenal's very high floor, but their limited ceiling.
Yeah.
yeah,
Look,
look,
Yeah.
I thought the first half Arsenal were shocking. I mean, y'all didn't really create anything. Sunderland, I mean, took their goal well. Ballard, nice, but second half y'all actually came out to play. That I don't know what that French dude's name was for Sunderland that was trying to play Lefebvre, dude. He was
Oh, dude,
Dude,
he
as
was
soon as he was trying, as soon as he was trying to
Pedri, bro.
dribble, I
I
immediately knew. I
I was
immediately knew
noticing
he was gonna mess it up.
the whole game. Like even in the first half, there were times when he was just trying to do too much, and I was like, "Bro, you're not Pedri." Like I had a feeling he was going to lose the ball at some point.
And he lost
you could
it.
see that he was gonna. Yeah, you could see. Yeah.
But look, one thing I do want to say is I was livid at the time. Like when it happened, as you would be, if you concede a last-minute equalizer to, yes, they're a very good side, but a newly promoted side. Like if you concede that kind of late goal to drop 2 points, you're all in a title race. You're always going to be disappointed. But the more I've thought about it, firstly, I thought Sunderland were absolutely incredible. Like the effort, the way that they just absolutely dominated us in that first half. I haven't watched a lot of Sunderland this season. I've watched them a little bit. I watched them against Chelsea. Like I've watched them a few times, but they were just very, very impressive. I think that they could probably, so far, they look like the best newly promoted team I've seen, and it's incredible. But one thing I do want to say is I don't actually know if that game embodies all of our issues. I actually do think I'm not. If we say that first half had happened right the same way, we play like shit, we're 1-0 down. If in the second half we'd sort of see us sit on the ball the whole game, but then not really create anything, and then maybe nick an equalizer from a set piece and draw 1-1, I feel like that would probably be more concerning than the way we did drop the 2 points. Because for the majority of that second half, I thought we played really, really well. I thought we were creating a lot of chances. We could have scored a lot of goals. And yes, both goals you could argue were pretty fortunate. You know, there was the error that they made for the first goal, and then Trossard scored a beautiful finish that you're not going to get many of. And I do think that is one thing our squad lacks, just that bit of individual attacking quality. But at the same time, because of how good our defense is, like that was probably the worst defensive performance I've seen us put in since like Luton Town in December 2023. Like I don't really remember the last time we defended that badly across a full 90 minutes. And the fact that, as you mentioned before, that's what it took to get a draw against us. I didn't have much confidence at halftime that we were gonna score 2 goals, but we did. And I don't know if we're gonna concede goals like that as much as I don't think that's going to happen much. You know, maybe there'll be a couple off games and we will get the occasional 2-2 draw, something like that. But just the manner that the goals happen, that we don't usually do that, if that makes sense. So I think, also, I don't think we deserve to win at all. I really don't. I thought first half we were really bad, and then the defending for both goals wasn't good enough. I don't think we deserve to win, but on another day we end up winning, and if that last goal doesn't happen, it's a much different narrative. It's, you know, Arsenal had a lot of pressure put on them and they still came away with the 3 points. Yes, we didn't, but I actually do think that there were a lot of ways we could have drawn that game that would worry me far more than what we actually did see, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, I just want to say 2 things and then we can go to Trevor. Sunderland at home, they're still undefeated, you know, so it's gonna, like, Sunderland are gonna surprise a lot of teams at the stadium. Like they will, you know. I think it'll be a hard game when we go there. Shaka was great, but I think that second goal, well, yeah, Gabriel was lazy. I thought if Raya didn't come off his line,
Yeah, I thought
he goes straight to him. He goes straight to him.
Raya. Because like Gabriel does get a little bit bullied, but at the same time, that's still a relatively easy save.
Yeah, no. If you're staying in the net, you catch that. You catch that any day. But yeah, Trevor.
That's my biggest. Just quickly, that's my biggest beef with Raya as a goalkeeper. I just feel like his discipline with positioning at times is just strange.
Free kicks. The way he stands right next to the wrong post. Every time someone has a free kick, if they don't always go in, but every single time someone has a free kick on the edge of the area, it stresses me the fuck out. Because that United game at Old Trafford from last season, I remember. That was bad. I was literally live on TikTok watching the game, and I was saying when Bruno lined up, I said, "Why are you leaving why are you leaving the what was it his right post? Why are you leaving your right side open like that? Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it?" And I said, "He's gonna put it right. He's gonna score." And then that's exactly what happened. And I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? Yeah, I think that's like the one. Yeah, I think that's the one thing he has.
But what I will say is, just as my closing statements, I personally don't like the way that Arsenal approach games. It's a very I think Carragher nailed it when he said this is what Mourinho used to do in the 2000s. I just have, I guess, a question if this league, because the 2000s Premier League, if you've watched 2000s Prem game, was bad. So I just wonder if this league is maybe a bit too talented for that approach, because I think that the team itself is very good, but just the approach that you're not going to keep a clean sheet every game. Like I said, every team is going to concede goals. That's just the quality of attackers in this league. There will be a game where Damsgaard will slap it from 30 yards because he can do that. There will be a game where Iliman Njai will dribble through your whole defense and just put it in the far corner. He can do that. There's just too many quality attackers in this league that I just wish that Arsenal were a bit more adventurous with the attack, because when you have a defense that good, you just want to add, 18-19 Liverpool. We have the third best defensive record in Premier League history, a Jurgen Klopp rock and roll team.
But no
Because
one talks
when
about it. But
no
no one
one
talks.
talks about it, brother. We have
Yeah.
second most clean sheets that season. But when you have a team with defenders that good, I think it gives you the license to be more attacking. I just don't
That's
understand
what I've been saying for ages. That is my main criticism on Arteta, that we are the last team in the league that should be playing the way we play, because we probably have the best defenders in the league.
so especially
That's the one thing I don't get. That's the one
that's
thing I don't get.
and I just wonder if, and by the way, I'm not trying to, this is not me begging it, but the set piece variants will come back. Like the set pieces will dry up for a certain spell. That's just the natural nature of that
We
method of
couldn't,
scoring.
we couldn't get a set piece goal against Sunderland.
No, but I'm what I'm trying to say is, when they dry up, I just hope that I need to go. You guys have enough solutions outside of that, and Arteta will be willing to take that risk, commit those bodies forward, move the ball quicker. That's what I hope to see from Arsenal, especially in crunch time. But I do gotta go, gents. Cheers,
Yeah,
everybody.
Thank you for coming on, Trevor. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think I don't think it'll be a result that y'all will regret too much later on in the season. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
I've calmed down. I've calmed down a lot. I was livid when it happened.
Oh, I know. I remember. I got you on the voice chat, and yeah, you were pissed. But I think because at the end of the day, all the title-winning teams, they drop points, and like this isn't going to be like a high 90 point tally where we don't see that many drop points. It's probably going to be like a mid 80s.
Whoever wins this league isn't a top league winning team. It's going to be like last season.
Exactly.
Like last season, they're just going to have a bit of competition because there are more.
So like I think there's going to be a couple more, points dropped for whoever wins the league. I mean, for Arsenal, like in the next couple of weeks, especially you have a lot of hard fixtures. But I just think it was the way
we've only dropped points to either teams that are in the top four now or Liverpool, who were like the reigning champions. So like, that's just
no. I feel like the way it happened is what's the issue. I mean,
that was the way that the overall game happened, as I mentioned before, isn't that concerning to me. It's just the way that the last goal happened and stuff like that. Like that's the thing that annoyed me the most. That we showed more ability to fight back than I thought we had. I thought, Sunderland, they're a big team, they're physical. I don't know if we're going to be able to score against these guys. Then we scored 2 goals, and at that point, I was like, okay, if you win, like this is an incredible, incredible result. And then they just fumbled. One thing I also do want to say is Arteta, his substitutions pissed me off in that game, or lack of, because all game.
Did he sub only once?
Yeah, because all game I was calling for Calafiori to get taken off that pitch. Because, I think Calafiori's had a very good season. I think he's had a very, very good season. He's been one of our better players this season. He's probably been one of the standout left backs in the Premier League this season. And he's not a player that I, massively rate. But he's been good. He had an absolute nightmare of a game. Every time he touched the ball, something bad happened. Every single time. He had a nightmare. And I was calling for him to get taken off. And then when he finally makes a substitution, he brings on Mosquera for Eze. And I wasn't that upset at the idea of bringing on a 5th centre-back. Because, when you're 2-1 at a difficult away game, you want to see it out. But I just think there's a different way to see out a result like that. Sunderland are a team that are going to want to go long. And by bringing on another defender, you're inviting them to go long. You're saying we have the bodies in the box, go long. And that's how we conceded. That is literally how we conceded, from a long ball into the box that we weren't able to defend. And because the defense wasn't on it. The defense wasn't honest. So I had a feeling that if we were going to concede a goal, it would be in that fashion. What I would have done, and I do think that I can kind of a little bit of slack because we didn't really have the best possible players available to do this. But you just bring on another midfielder to tighten up the game. Like, I don't even mind taking Eze off because Eze did not play well at all. Eze had a really poor game in my opinion. But maybe bring on like a Lewis Skelly and just stick him in midfield. Someone who can just maybe go back and play a back five that way, but put him as sort of as a player who can just recycle possession. You just want to keep the ball and calm the game down. You don't want to just bring on defenders and then invite them to go long at you when the only way they were going to score was by sending in balls into the box. That was the only way they were ever gonna score in that game. Both goals, one of them came from a free kick on the halfway line, which I hate complaining about refs. Never a free kick. Zubimendi got booked for it. It was never a free kick. So we shouldn't have even conceded that goal. But also, when you concede a free kick at the halfway line, doesn't matter if it's a free kick or not. You shouldn't be conceding a goal from there. Like you just shouldn't. But yeah, man. Look, it's as I said, it's not the end of the world because we are still 4 points clear. It would have been nice to capitalize off Liverpool and City playing each other, especially since that game wasn't a draw like I had hoped. It does put us in a worse position than we were in before. But look, we've got a big test now after the international break. And I guess we should do another pod before the end of the international break. We should do another one where we could do something and maybe talk a bit more about the upcoming games.
I think we should discuss just like a summary of the season so far.
Yeah.
And a
preview for the upcoming games as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, we have a very difficult run. We're a very, very difficult run. We've got Tottenham at home, Bayern at home, Chelsea away. Those 3 games are all droppable games, like quite easily.
No, definitely.
And
but
we have to. And I don't really care that much about the Bayern game, if I'm being honest.
That's
But
what I was going to say.
two Prem games have to be wins. They have to be wins. I'm watching Tottenham and Chelsea. We have to win both those games if we want to win this league.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's what I was just about to say. I was about to say, well, obviously you want to win the Bayern game. You don't want to lose. You can afford to lose that game and still go comfortably into the top 4 of the Champions League. But the Premier League, you can't drop points in the next 2 games.
Because say that we've got Club Brugge away and Kairat Almaty at home. Like those are going to be 2 easy wins. And then the only other difficult fixture we have is Inter away, which is a game we should be winning. Even if we draw that, 6 wins, 1 draw, and a 2-1 loss to Bayern. Like that's top 8.
Yeah, no, that's top 4. So that's not the issue. But I will say this: City also have a very big test. I knew Newcastle have been bad in the last couple of games, but it's at St. James Park. I mean, they can just show up. Like it's going to be a hard fixture, and it's just off international break. I hope no one gets injured. But look, we'll do a preview later on in the week.
One other game I would kind of like to touch on a bit.
The United game
is the Spurs United game. It surprised me. It was more entertaining than I was expecting, but I was so right at 90 minutes. It was literally 1-1, and it was boring as fuck, which is exactly what my prediction was. I thought United were gonna. I think I said United would score first, and then Spurs would score an equaliser, and it would be a really boring game. I would have been spot on if it wasn't for stoppage time, which we saw an absolute madness. Obviously, Richarlison over-celebrate a winner, only for them. Only for them to concede. That's pretty. Yeah, it's funny.
Look, the Richarlison. I didn't watch. I watched the last 10 minutes of it, so I was able to catch the 2 goals. But dude, Richarlison taking off his shirt and getting it in the game, getting tied again was so funny to watch, bro.
Yeah,
I thought
it's hilarious.
Look, I thought good header. Bruno Fernandes, he's assisting the winner again. Good for him. But yeah, I mean, from what everyone said, the game was boring. Like the actual game itself was just.
It was just a good ending, and the thing is, I thought first half, Spurs were absolutely terrible, like similar to the Chelsea game that in the first half, like awful.
Yeah, no, I noticed they had no shots on target.
Spineless attack once again, created absolutely nothing. And United, they looked decent early. They had good chances early. There was a half chance that Cunha had, and Burmo was a great header for their goal. But then United, after they went 1-0 up, they genuinely did fuck all. Like, they created nothing. And then the second half was pretty much nothing until the last 20-odd minutes, where I actually thought Spurs, when they scored, deserved to win the game, despite the fact that they were by far the worst team in the first half. I thought that the 20-minute patch that they had at the end of the game was enough that I thought, you know what? United have done nothing. I would say Spurs are pretty deserving of a win here. And then I thought they were very unlucky to concede that corner. But yeah, I would say a draw is probably, considering the way both teams played in patches of that game, I'd say a draw was probably a fair result. I'm not scared of either of those teams. Both of those teams, United have made improvements. Unbeaten in 5 games. You can spin it however you want, but they still have a lot of problems for me. And then Spurs, Spurs are just, we talked about it mostly last week, that Spurs just...
No, Spurs are they're going to win against the small teams. They're going to stay up like 6th, 5th in the league, but against the big teams, they're just not. They're not. The quality's in there.
I just realized I should have asked Trevor who his Bees of the Week were before he left.
Oh,
should have asked him that.
Look, I do want to. I think we should maybe just go over the top 8 of the Premier League, just like the table as it stands. Arsenal first place by 4 points. Fair enough. It's a pretty good lead. It's a very good lead. You have City behind, and then you have. I don't even know how Chelsea got in here, dude.
It's all trash, bro. Outside of this is genuinely the thing. It's gonna be another Arteta versus Pep title race, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
Because it's only 8 points with Liverpool. I just think there's still a slight chance. If we're beating Sunderland, I'd be on here saying Liverpool are done. Like, their season's over in the Premier League. I would have been saying that if we beaten Sunderland. But I think just because it's not double digits yet. If it was if they drop points to who have they got next?
No, dude, they got Forest at home.
But if they drop points before either of us do, then they're done.
No, yeah,
but the rest of it's mid. Like Tottenham have been playing pretty average this season. They're 5th. You've got a newly promoted team 4th, Chelsea, who have been inconsistent as fuck, in 3rd, and then you've got Man United in 7th and Liverpool in 8th. Like that, that is insane.
Look, the only team that has actually impressed me out of the top 8 was Sunderland. I thought they'd get relegated. So
yeah,
and I think they're safe from relegation. I guess it's a little early, but
they've already got 7 more points than Southampton got last season.
Yeah, no, they're clear. So
let me actually
it's already a successful season for them.
So last season, Leicester got relegated with 25 points. Sunderland only need 2 more wins, and they've got as many points as Leicester did last season. That is insane. They've got 19 less points. They've got half as many points as Tottenham finished the season with.
Damn.
Yeah, no, they're fucking. They'll be top half. They'll be top half.
Good. But look, I'm so glad Newcastle lost. I think it's a long break, international break. It's like a week and a half, maybe 2. But I think it's great going into this. For us, going to St. James Park away, they're going to be deflated.
They are a completely different team at home than they are away.
I know.
Away from home, they're
atrocious.
They're one of the worst teams in the league away from home.
Yeah,
back 3-1 losses away from home. Whereas at home, like if I brought up that home and away table thing that I saw on Twitter to mention Tottenham before.
Versus first. I'm looking at it now. It's versus first.
Yeah, Spurs are first in the away table, but they're 19th in the home table.
What?
Yeah, they're 19th in the home table. They've only got 1 win at home, and it was against Burnley.
How does that even...
Yeah, whereas Newcastle...
Oh, we're the best team at home.
Newcastle's home form hasn't actually been that good. 3 wins and 2 losses. But I think the 2 losses they have were to Liverpool and Arsenal, both games that they were very unlucky to lose. And then they won all their other games. It was away from home. They haven't had a single...
Well, I thought versus Arsenal, y'all played good. I thought y'all deserved the win.
I just mean in the sense of, 2 late set pieces.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't mean that their performance was I thought we did deserve to win that game. But I just mean overall,
Yeah.
like they lost both games in like a heartbreaking fashion with 2 late goals.
Well,
Like
I hope it happens again. I mean, I hope. I
I'd
hope.
be disgusted. If you guys are going to beat them, just beat them 4-0 again. Like, I don't want to have to watch Haaland 92nd minute winner. No, don't do that.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I think we can wrap up this pod. I mean, the other. I mean, Barca won. No one cares.
Bro,
And then
if we
tied.
don't have any La Liga fans in here, we're not talking about La Liga, bro.
Yeah,
like,
no. And then
no one
there was
cares.
no.
This is a very Prem-centric episode, and I like it that way.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. It's just like when Josh was here. But yeah, look.
And Josh wanted to talk about like every game.
Okay, yeah, dude. Josh wanted to talk about
No one cares about
Forest Leeds, bro. What do we do? What do we do? But yeah,
thank you guys for watching. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. I think if I get my camera quality working, I think we should probably just switch to StreamYard because I can do an overlay or something. I think that would probably be better.
Yeah, that works.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We will definitely try and make another pod before the end of the international break. Probably just an overview of the season so far. Maybe we could do like a power ranking of some sort, play a game or something. I don't know. We'll do something fun.
Yeah.
And then we'll get back into it after the international break. So we'll see you guys in the next one.